Hello everyone, this is OGAE Azerbaijan, and today we have another special guest, this time all the way from Switzerland. He is a very emotional person and he delivers his powerful message through his beautiful voice. Let's welcome the one and only Marius Bear.
Hearts, they got broken. God only knows why. And sometimes aeroplanes fall down from the sky.
Hello Marius, and thank you for accepting our invitation. How are you doing?
Hey, good, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Marius, before starting our conversation, can you please tell us who is Marius Hugli, or can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Marius Hugli, so that's my second name. Bear is the artist name, and yeah, I'm 1.90 meters high, and I'm 130 kilos, heavy boy. Yeah, and I'm who am I? Yeah, like I'm the same like the musicians kind of way, like the musician Bear. It's one person. Yeah.
And Marius, can you tell us why you are using this bear instead of Marius Hugli? Is there any story?
Yeah, it's a story because I've started to busk, and for a while my name on the street was Marius, just Marius, and then I played more and more shows, and then a friend of mine told me, you need a second name that people can find you on Google. So Marius Bear, it's easier than find yourself just as a Marius,
Mm-hmm.
And then I was searching for a second name because Hugli is such a Swiss name. It's like a typical Swiss German name. And I thought, okay, something, and it's also about the privacy issue. It's cool to have a bit something else. And then I was thinking about it a few months, and then in the end, like a friend of mine told me in the evening, in the pub for a beer, we were talking about it, and he said, look at you, you're like, you got the mindset like a bear, you behave like a bear, you big like a bear, so Marius Bear. And I was like, okay, I like the name, it fits to my soul, to my character, and yeah, now I'm a bear.
Okay, then Marius, you moved from being a mechanic to be a musician. Can you tell us about your journey a bit?
So I grew up in Appenzell. It's a little city up in the mountains, about 1,200 meters up. And yeah, and I grew up in a like typical Swiss countryside boy, a lot in the woods, doing a lot of bonfires and stuff. And yeah, and then my life was quite normal until I was 22. Because I had to go to Swiss Army, in Switzerland we still have to go to army. I think in Azerbaijan too, isn't it?
Yes, it's mandatory.
It's mandatory, yeah, in Switzerland too. And yeah, and then I met a soldier, like I was an officer in Swiss Army, and I had a soldier. He came to me in the morning, and I have to do all the, all the shoutings and stuff. And then he came to me and said, bro, you got such a great voice, it's like, you're twice as loud than all the others. And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, and that's how I started to sing. So in the evening, he came over to my room with the guitar, and we were jamming and playing songs, and I felt that it's like something, it's a release to sing for me, to like all the anger or the pain I had in this time. Sometimes, it just went out, and it's a therapy for myself. And then I started to busk, and I lived from busking about 8 months. Yeah, until I met a filmmaker from New York, and he invited me to New York, and I lived in New York for a couple of months, and I helped him producing the soundtrack for his movie about the moon landing. And yeah, and there I had this moment, like music was for me always like something, it's about experience life, meeting new people. It was just a fun thing. But at this moment in New York, when I met at the premiere of this movie, it was at the Natural History Museum in New York. And there I met Charlie Duke. He was on Apollo 14, I think. So he was an astronaut. And I met him. And in the evening after our dinner, he he showed us. We went back into the Natural History Museum in the evening, and he showed us where he walked on the moon. You know. And in the next morning, I woke up and was like, "What the fuck just happened last night?" Because I was at 10 o'clock in the evening, I was in the Natural History Museum in New York, and an astronaut showed me where he walked on the moon. I mean, that's that's like a happening for your life experience. You will never forget this anymore. You know, it's such a big moment. You know,
Great.
And from then on, I was like, okay, that's the greatest job in the world. I'm gonna be a musician.
Great, great. But actually, who is your music inspiration, or who influenced you music-wise?
Oh, there's so many. I started like being a big fan of Mac Corby. He's an Australian singer-songwriter. I love Paolo Nutini. He has like an amazing solo voice. And there are also like a lot of artists I'm really looking up to artistic-wise. For example, Holly Hammerstone. She's an indie artist from the UK.
Mhm.
Or also like Billie Eilish. It's great. It's an amazing thing how she created her world. You know, I think it's something really beautiful. But there are so many. You know, you always, as a musician, you always being inspired by different artists. So it's not about showing, copying something. It's about like, okay, he's that character, so he's gonna do that and that. What am I? And I think that's the biggest part being a musician, like really know who you are, you know.
Mhm. Then you also released 2 albums in 2019, Not Loud Enough, and recently Boys Do Cry. Can you tell us about your albums and what are the differences? And how has your music evolved from 2019 till now?
So Not Loud Enough, it was an album about it was the first year when I moved to London. I lived there for 1.5 years, and there I wrote a lot of songs. Like 1 year I wrote like 100 songs, and I came into this songwriting bubble, you know, like working together with different songwriters and meeting every day someone new. And yeah, and a lot of songs are created there with different kind of songwriters, and it's all Not Loud Enough. It's for example a song. It's also a song in the album itself, and it's a song which it's about two two people which have fights with each other, you know, screaming on each other. And you know, you have all the rubbish you have sometimes in a relationship, but it's never not loud enough because no one because the other isn't listening. You know, you can scream on someone, but it's not loud enough. You know,
Mhm,
because
mhm.
he doesn't get the message. It's not about the volume. It's about the appreciation of the other person. Um, then yeah, Boys to Cry. That's the album. It's the title track also from my album, and it's I had now 2 years time to think about myself. You know what is my message to give out in this world as an artist, and sometimes I think it's so hard because you know as a there 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 is already so much happening out there in the world, and then it's coming like this white privileged Swiss guy, you know, which has no mental issues, nothing else, and it's quite hard to get deep content out of that. And I always was struggling with that. What's my message as a man, or as me as a person? And I realized, okay, you know what I am? I'm a really emotional man, and I love to show these emotions, and I love to hug people, and I would say I'm the opposite of a toxic masculinity.
Mhm.
So I'm still masculine, you know, I'm still like, I'm a tall guy, but I'm also really warm and heartful, and it's about showing it off. It's about showing people that you're, and I think it's in a, especially in these days nowadays when people slap each other on stage, you know, or war things, you know, it's so important to be also as a man, you know, what's the definition of masculinity, and that's a big question in our society, or especially as a gay man. It's easy because there are like a lot of rules, or how do you say, role models, you know, how you can be, and you can, you know, you can be gay and you can be free and stuff, but as a straight man, what's the good masculinity as a straight man? It's really hard to kind of way sort that out. And that's why I want to say, okay, be a neutral personality, be a kind of a man which is calm, gives love out to this world, and be positive, supportive, but that doesn't mean you lose any of your muscles or of your masculinity.
Marius, actually, I love your voice and I love your music. From day one, it's like really like very beautiful song. And so you talked actually about the message. Can you also perhaps tell, like, do you think this message of the song is delivered through your music video?
Yeah, definitely, and it will be also delivered through my performance on stage. This song, Boys to Cry, it's not a showing off song, you know, it's not about showing off my voice, and mostly like ESC is a lot about show, you know, like I can sing that high and I can dance that far and I can do this and I can do this. And my message to bring to the Eurovision, it's about bringing this feeling of warmth, and you really feel it in the music video. You watch it, and in the end of the music video, you are not sad. You go like, you know, it's something which it doesn't hurt you. It's something which makes you warm in here, you know. And that's also the performance is gonna be. It's not about me. It's about giving out this message out there, and especially in these busy days where something is happening and so much stuff is in our heads. It's about creating a 3-minute embrace for the audience back in the living room and be there and say, okay, look, Papa's here, you know, can't wait, you know, to give them the feeling of it. Yeah.
Okay. And have you heard other songs which you are fighting against?
There's so many good songs this year. It's crazy, man. Sweden, UK. Also from Azerbaijan. You have such great, and he's such a nice dude. Nazir. I met him at the pre-party in Madrid. Such a lovely guy. I really like him. And also his it wasn't his manager. No, the girl who represents Azerbaijan as a how do you say, as a team chief of Azerbaijan.
Head of press, probably.
Head of press, yeah. She was also really, really nice. So really lovely people, and and we already we already had a few drinks, and we understand each other really good, yeah.
So if I ask, like, you have to give your 12 points to someone, who will be, or who is getting your 12 points?
It's about the song. It's not about the person. It's about. So it will be Netherlands or Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Then Marius, what is the one thing from your home country that you simply cannot go to Turin without?
I can't go without my guitar. Definitely need my guitar. I think I'm also gonna take a piano with me, because Turin is quite near from here, so it's about 3-4 hours away, and we are going with the bus. I can take all my stuff with me.
Okay. And do you have any message for your fans?
Yeah, enjoy and love the Eurovision Song Contest as you always do, and vote for the songs you feel connected with. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Thank you, Marius, for this lovely interview. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in Turin.
Great. Thank you so much, Tural.
Thank you.
Great. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.